Hey friends, coming to you from my mom's house in Ojai, and I thought I would make you a little video. Recently, I came upon another change in my life, and I had to navigate through it. And as we do in life, everything changes. That's one thing that we do know is for sure is change, right? It's inevitable. And we deal with changes in so many ways, and it's not easy. And as I was navigating through the specific change, which I'll let you know, I'll tell you about, it took me about a month to really embrace it and come to completion to accept this change. And it can really happen as fast as you want it to happen. And I have some steps to help you navigate that process. So I'll tell you, as we all do as humans, we have a million stories where we've had to deal with change, right? And my most recent one is, I will share this one because it might sound like not a very big deal, but that's the thing is, change is really, it's personal. So what might seem trivial to someone else might be feeling really big to you. So one recent story I can share with you is, so I'm a photographer. I'm a coach and a photographer. And I have specific locations I love to use, and I get very attached to some of my locations, especially ones that I've used for many years and that serve many different purposes. And as a feeler and an empath and a spiritual person, there's a whole other aspect to some of my locations because I love nature and I tend to do a lot of my photography in nature. And I tend to hike around a lot of the locations I use as well. So they mean something to me. Now this particular location, so let me back up. I'm in Ojai. Well, actually, let me back up to a couple months ago when this change occurred. I was in Ojai in California. It's a little town I grew up in. And I've had to deal with change in different locations I've used in the past. And for whatever reason, I was okay with it because I think I got used to some of the places changing, like with the seasons, or like we have a lake here that was like receding for many, many years. And so I'd have to change areas around the lake. And then I just got used to that. This specific location, it's just been my little tried and true location. I love it because as a photographer, I'm always looking at light. And sometimes I will do multiple mini shoots in one day, and so I'm a stickler for good lighting, and I want everyone to have beautiful light. So this location was very special to me because it accommodated all different times for photo sessions. It wasn't just like you were stuck with one time a day, and it had every beautiful background you could ever want. So I loved that I could take someone for 30 minutes and give them all kinds of backdrops, not just one backdrop. So I showed up, I think it was in July, and I went to go scout my location, and I went on my little morning walk over there and scouted it out. And to my shock and surprise, the trees, the forest I use as part of my location was cut down. And I love that area because it provides shade for some of my clients and wonderful light and magic. There's just like this beauty of being inside of a forest And so these trees were cut down. You know, I also, this is one of the saddest parts. It was such a fun location because there were all these fallen trees, and I would have my clients, whether they be kids or a whole family or whatever, I'd have them sit on the logs or stand on the logs or walk across the logs, jump off the logs. I mean, for years and years and years, I've used this location and just those logs, those fallen trees were just a staple there. And I just loved that spot so much for photos. But I showed up, the logs had been removed. The forest had been half cut down, and in its place was just dirt and sawdust. And so my logical mind knew that we have fire season here now, and I know that they did that for the benefit of the land, and I know that because this town is very much about the environment. And so I know it was done for the best, the highest and best for this town, for the people, for the animals. Everything was taken into consideration. However, I was still sad. And so I want to share that with you because you might be thinking change has to be this big ordeal, this big, like a death or a loss of a job or a house or something like in that, or a relationship, something more, seemingly more like a bigger magnitude than what I'm sharing. It doesn't. Change can feel hard no matter what it is. So with that in mind, I want to share some steps for you to be able to get from that painful space to embracing change, and even not just accepting change, but finding the magic and beauty in what now is. So the first step is acknowledging how you feel. So for me, I could easily go, oh, it was for the best, and shove down my own personal feelings, right? No. The first thing to do is acknowledge how you feel. And that could be sad. You could be grieving the loss of what was, and that is perfectly fine. And allow yourself to feel all the feelings coming up for you. You know, I really was sad that this new landscape was completely changed. And I couldn't even fathom, like, how would I use this spot now? It doesn't even look the same. And I just breathed and allowed myself to feel the feelings. And so that's what I want to say, is just allow yourself to feel those feelings without judgment. The second thing I want you to know, the second step, is after you have allowed yourself to feel all the feelings, I would like to share that step 2 is allowing yourself to now see this, whatever it is, this new thing, this new change, like for me, this photo session spot, this location, with fresh eyes that are brand new, not seeing it for what it used to be, not comparing it to what it used to be, but seeing it with fresh eyes, like you've never seen it before. And so for you, that could be, you know, you can apply that to whatever it is. It could be a new home, or a change to your home. It could be a relationship change. Apply it without comparing what you lost, what was. So that's why you have to go through your embracing your feelings first, allowing yourself to process those feelings first before you can get to this step. But within those fresh eyes, just seeing it as if this is the first time you've ever seen it before. And the reason I say that is because step 3, the third step, is finding magic, finding beauty, seeing the beauty, getting curious. Step 3 is really getting curious. Curious. What beauty can you find? What magic can you find? What opportunities are now here that you didn't see before? So that's the third step, is getting curious and finding what newness is there that you couldn't see before. So going back to my story, I said it took me about a month. I actually lied. It took me a day. Well, it didn't take me a day to accept it, but I used that location that same day. I was sad, so I didn't get through it in that day. But the reason I want to say, going back to the steps, is the reason is you will be able to be not just more lighthearted about it, but you will be able to be more creative. So for me, because the sooner I was able to feel my feelings and see the place with fresh eyes and get curious and be open to magic and possibility and opportunity and beauty, I was able to use my creativity. You know, if I was stuck in what used to be and comparing it and being just like, oh, it used to be this and it used to be that, if I get stuck there, my creativity won't flow. My joy won't flow. And I won't be able to see new opportunity. And so I'm sharing that with you so you can move forward when you're ready. So going back to my story, I ended up using that spot that same exact day because my clients actually had come in from Connecticut and they had known about that place. They loved that place and they really wanted it there. And so I was like, okay, let's see what we can do here. And I changed the time for them to be a different time of day that I normally shoot there. And it turned out great. And guess what? I used spots in that location that I would have never used before in a completely new way. And we had a blast. And now it's a couple months later. I'm back here in Ojai. I had another shoot there the other day. Was it yesterday? I think it was 2 days ago. And I loved it. And I will tell you, I hiked there in the morning just to check it out and scout it out and be one with the land. And I saw so much life. And I saw so much life 2 months ago when I was going through the shock of it being so different. That's the one thing that I saw it with new, fresh eyes. I remember the day that I was like shocked. I was moving through my feelings and there were more dragonflies in this beautiful wetland area than I had ever seen before. And I took a video because it was so magical. And these birds that I had never seen before. And so my eyes were fresh eyes, and I was able to feel the sadness of the loss and because of the change, but at the same time, really see that magic. And then I just, like I said, a couple days ago, went back. I took a hike there, and I was really able to see the magic in that spot in a whole different way than I had seen it before. And it was magical to me before, but there was different magic this time. It was different beauty this time. And I was looking for it. I was looking for evidence. I was looking for opportunities and I was looking for ways to use my creativity. And so I'm sharing this with you because I know how hard change can be, and it can come in many different forms, change can. And so I invite you to try these 3 steps. The first one is crucial. You have to mourn the loss. You can't shove it down and try to move on, because what happens is you will compare what once was to the present moment, and that just causes more pain. And I just want to remind you that when one door closes, another one opens. And change is inevitable. It's the one thing we know for sure. And so I hope this video helped you today. And you know, I have so many stories of where I thought things were changed for the worst. Like it, oh my gosh, you know, so dramatic. Oh, this is so, you know, different, and the most amazing things came out of that change. I mean, the most amazing things were born out of those changes, and I never would have predicted the opportunities, the beauty, the magic that was to come in different forms that I could have ever imagined. So I want to share that with you and to give you some hope. And I think maybe on my next video, I will share another one of my stories, just to give you some inspiration. Okay, I hope you are well. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Share it if you'd like, and subscribe, because I plan to post one every week. And I hope you are well. Take care. Bye.